Whenever I say a word like this, certain or fixed, in Nigeria parlance, please, it means you should japa.
If you are new to our YouTube channel, please do subscribe down below. Turn on your notification button so whenever we upload a new video, you can easily access them.
So good day, welcome to another episode of See Ya Lawyer. Please, if you are new, please do subscribe down below like we said earlier on. Please try to encourage us, drop your comments, and I promise you, we'll keep giving you interesting topic. Today we'll be discussing something very interesting. We'll be discussing how to review a tenancy agreement in Nigeria. First of all, you have to know that an agreement or a tenancy agreement per se is actually an agreement between two parties, that's the landlord and the tenant, that binds them as to the demised property the landlord has had to rent or let to the tenant. Going forward, we have to understand that the law will definitely not want to interfere between the agreement of both parties, except maybe there are some things they did not say or they left behind. The law will definitely come on board to want to fix those things. For example, when it comes to the quick notice that parties should be given, a yearly tenant is better to have at least 6 month quick notice, a 6-month tenant is better to have at least 3 month quick notice, a monthly tenant is better to have a monthly quick notice, while a 1 week tenant is better to have at least a week. Now, looking forward, we'll be looking at tenancy agreement between Chief Johnson John, who is the landlord, and a company called Good Investment Limited, who is the tenant. Investment of a 3-bedroom, this is describing the property, then prepared by Joseph Nosa, solicitor's name and his address and all of that. Now let's quickly go to the introductory part of the tenancy agreement. This tenancy agreement is made this day of 2021. So you should always note that every tenancy agreement must come with a date. So we should always note that a tenancy agreement should always come with a date. Usually it is a date for commencement. Now between Chief Johnson John, his address, hereby referred to as the landlord, this expression shall, where the contents will admit, includes his legal representative, successors in title and assigned. So this is telling us that this agreement will bind the landlord and his family members or successors in title. And Good Investment Limited, address of Good Investment Limited is also there. They are referred to as the tenants in this case, which their expression shall also include their legal representative, successors in title and assigned of the other part. So it means Chief Johnson John and Good Investment Limited have come together to have this agreement. So let's quickly go further to where we call the reciter. Usually it is written as whereas, but most time you can see it as an agreement as reciter. So this reciter part gets to tell us that the landlord is the owner of his property and he intends to rent it out or let it out to a particular person. So moving forward, we will get to the part where we talk about the consideration clause and the rest. So for example, in this line, we get to talk about in consideration of the rent hereinafter reserved and of the covenant, condition and provision on the part of the tenant hereinafter contained, the landlord hereby demises unto the tenant all that premises comprising. So all the property that has been stated before is being given to tenant as stated here. And if we look forward, you can say to hold. This is where we have to look at to hold same unto the tenant for a term of 1 year and 6 months setting. Now this word setting has to be looked into detail. Whenever I say a word like this, setting or fixed, in Nigeria parlance, please, it means you should japa. Anyways, not to joke around. What we're just saying right now is, when you see the word setting, it means you're a fixed tenant. And for a fixed or certain tenant, when you say it's fixed or certain tenant, it means you are fixed for that particular moment. So like this one, say commencing from 1st day of March 2021 and to end 31st day of August 2022. So it means you're not expected to stay beyond this period. So your tenancy is fixed. So at this point, the law presumes that the landlord does not have to give you quit notice anymore. But if you choose to gracefully give you quit notice, then it's fine. But by the virtue of the word setting here, you're not entitled to any quit notice. It is certain. So you're a certain tenant and fixed. So please watch this word certain or fixed whenever you're checking or reviewing any tenancy agreement. So before you sign, make sure you look at that word very well. Is that word certain or fixed in your tenancy? If you don't intend to be a certain or fixed tenant, you have to call the landlord's attention to this and ask them to review the tenancy agreement to put you as a yearly tenant. So we should also take note that going further, the landlord also acknowledges that he has received this. So the receipt of which the landlord hereby acknowledges. So it means that has been settled. To pay the sum of 100,000 naira only as caution fee, which is refundable to the tenant on vacation of the premises if there is no damages to the property, the said sum having been paid by the tenant to the landlord, the receipt which the landlord hereby acknowledges. Moving from the consultation clause, let's move faster to the covenant. The tenant is actually going to be covenanting with the landlord. This is just like saying the promises the tenant is giving to the landlord. Now we're looking at utilities first. So utilities. So here the tenant is saying he's ready to pay, bear discharge or cost to be paid, electricity, sanitation, water and security bills, and to be responsible for dislodgement of septic tanks or sockaway pit. So this is what the tenant is saying he's willing to do on the premises. So number 2, looking at repairs. To keep the demised property and the entire landlord features and fittings herein in good and tenable state of repairs and condition. So he's saying here he's going to keep the landlord property in very good condition. So number 3, we're talking of alteration and installation. Now this is very, very important. You cannot just go and start installing things in the landlord's property. So you have to be able to know if this is a minor repair or a major repair, or it's something you can alter, it's something you can install. Don't just start installing without getting consent. So let's see what this agreement is saying. It's saying not to assign. Now this is very important. A lot of people don't even know this. You cannot just go and assign or sublet one's property if this is not clearly stated in the tenancy agreement. And if this is stated, then you have the right to do that. And most times in most tenancy agreements, it's always stated that you can only do that with the permission of the landlord. So not to assign, underlet, charge, part with the possession of, grant licenses, or in any way alienate the demised property without the written consent. Now watch, without the written consent of the landlord or its authorized agent. Such consent shall not be unreasonably withheld in the case of a responsible person. Now this is saying that the landlord will not unreasonably withhold this permission if the tenant gets to ask for them. So we're going to use 4, which is use. To use the demised premises for commercial purposes and not for illegal or immoral purposes. So this is very important. You're not supposed to say, I want to get this place for a personal use, just to stay, unless you're turning it into a business place. It will be that you have breached this tenancy agreement right now. So not to store fuel or any flammable substance in the demised property. So this is also saying you cannot store dangerous flammable substance in the property. Number 5, which has to do with inspection. To permit the landlord and his authorized agent at all reasonable times to enter into, inspect, view the state of the demised property or any fittings or features attached. So here we're saying the tenant can at least permit the landlord to do reasonable inspection on the property. Delivery of possession. Now this is just saying that the tenant should be able to deliver possession at the expiration of his tenancy. But let's read what we have here. At the expiration or sooner termination of the term hereby granted, to quietly yield up possession of the demised property subject to the agreement by the landlord and tenant for renewal for a further term. So subject to the renewal of the landlord and tenant, you are expected to just give up your premises at the expiration of the tenancy itself. So number 7, legal cost and stamp duty. To be responsible for payment of legal costs for the preparation of this agreement and stamp duty of same. So here we're saying the tenant gets to bear the cost of all of these expenses. Now the landlord covenants with the tenant as follows. So here the landlord is the one saying, I agree to do this right now for you. So we're looking at what the landlord is agreeing to do for the tenant. Number 1, quiet enjoyment. Now this is very, very important. And it is usually implied. So even if it's not even in the agreement, it is presumed that the landlord is expected to give the tenant quiet enjoyment of the property. Let's read what we have here. That the tenant in performing his covenant contained in his agreement shall lawfully and peacefully enjoy the demised premises throughout the term granted without any interruption by the landlord or any person lawfully claiming through, under or in trust of him. Now that's been settled. So let's go to number 2. Ground rent. Landlord shall pay statutory land ground rent charges imposed on the demised premises by the relevant authority. So the landlord is required to pay every ground rent, and statutory rent that has to do with that premises. So moving further, it is hereby agreed and declared as follows. Now, both parties are declaring and agreeing at this point that if any covenant on the part of the tenant herein shall not be performed or observed, then in any of the said cases, it shall be lawful for the landlord at any time thereafter to re-enter upon the demised premises or any part thereof, and thereupon this agreement shall absolutely be determined, but that is the right of action of the landlord in respect of any breach of covenant on the part of the tenant therein contained. So this part just saying the tenant should not breach any of the covenant he has agreed to, and if he does, the landlord has that right to come in and re-enter and take his property, but without prejudice to the right of action, to both parties. So B, that if at the expiration of the term hereby created, the tenant shall be desirous of renewing his present agreement for a further period as may be agreed, and in furtherance of such desire, shall give to the landlord or its authorized agent at least 3 months notice in writing before the expiration of the said term, and if there shall not be at any time of such request be any existing breach on the part of the tenant of any of the covenant, provision or stipulation on his part herein contained, the landlord may grant. See, that's why the word may, take note please, the word may is telling you that it is not the landlord shall, because in law sometimes look at words. If you say the landlord shall, then it's compulsory on the landlord to do that. When you say the landlord may, so it's optional there. The landlord may grant to the tenant a further term of the demised premises from the expiration of the term hereby created, and upon such rent and conditions may be renegotiated and agreed upon by parties. So you see that this one is also saying the same thing as to the fact that the tenant, if he wants to continue staying, has to give the landlord at least 3 months notice, that he intends to continue staying. And the landlord should naturally be ready to renegotiate and to allow him stay. So number C, the reserved rent may be reviewed by the landlord at his sole discretion, and such revised rent shall be communicated to the tenant by notice at least 3 months to the expiration of the tenancy, and such increase will take effect on the first due date after service of notice. So this part is simply saying the landlord has the sole discretion to increase the rent. At least he must have at least communicated same to the tenant at least 3 months before such rent. Now we're going to D. Any notice required to be served shall be subsequently served on either party if delivered at their address herein or their last known address, and if dispatched by registered post, shall be deemed to have been served 3 days after the date it was posted. So it means both parties can write to each other, by their last known address. So such letter will be presumed to have been served on both parties if it is served on their last known address, or at least any address known to both parties. And if it's through dispatch, because it's presumed that through dispatch, when you do those dispatch letters, it takes some time. So it is presumed that letter was sent or was gotten 3 days after that dispatch was sent. So number E, that this agreement is to be interpreted and construed in accordance with the tenancy law of Lagos State. So this is just saying that the tenancy law of Lagos State would guide this tenancy. Now we're coming to the part where we get to talk about the execution clause. This is where we get to wrap up everything, where parties get to sign. In witness whereof the parties here to have set their hands and seal in the manner below and they here above written. Signed, sealed, and delivered by the redeeming name landlord. Now you can see signed, sealed, and delivered by the redeeming landlord. You have Chief Johnson John, where he has to sign. He has to sign here. Then, in the presence of, this is going to be his own witness. The person's name, occupation, address, signature has to be there. Now, moving further to the execution clause for the company, we can see the common seal of the within name tenant, Good Investment Limited, is affixed to this agreement and was duly delivered in the presence of the director and secretary. So the director will sign and the secretary will sign. But if the secretary is not there to sign, 2 directors of that company can sign. So it can be director and director. And the company seal has to be on the process for it to be seen to have been properly executed. If you notice above here, signed, sealed, and delivered by the within name landlord, this is an individual execution. Then when it comes to the company part, this is the company, this is how you execute for company. The common seal, which has to be affixed in the presence of the director and the secretary. So I hope this was interesting for you, the way it was interesting for me. So I look forward to giving you some of those little details that you should be checking out for when it comes to reviewing agreement and contract. I also look forward to reviewing contracts that has to do with commercial transactions. Anyways, thanks for being here with us. If you are new, please do subscribe down below, like I said before, and please keep encouraging us, drop your comments, drop your questions. We are following them through, and I'm promising you we'll keep replying you and keep giving you those topics that we feel would interest you. So till we see you again, have a nice day. Bye.